So it's going to be a challenge for me after seeing such a wonderful video. And we all know Swami Vivekananda in our own little way. We have read stories about him. Recently, one of the very new social reformer in India was influenced by Swami Vivekananda. There is a very small story about it. So this person, I will not tell the name, this was a person from a very rural village in India, and he was physically very strong. So he decided that he would go to Bombay and probably try to earn money with like scaring the people. After a while he got tired of that. Then he thought, let me try to join the army. He went to the army. After joining the army for many years also, his tendency was also similar to Swamiji. So he would not be satisfied with anything. So after a while he actually thought there is not really any purpose for my life. So he thought that I would probably commit suicide. He decided. And he wrote a suicide note also. But then he had a younger sister. So he has to postpone it. And then while he was traveling, on a railway station, he saw one book. And the small book was of Swami Vivekananda. And that changed his life. And he is no one but Anna Hazare. And we all know how much influence Anna Hazare has in the recent activities in India. So imagine Swami Vivekananda born so long back, and even in Indian education I don't think there is enough emphasis on what Swamiji's teachings are. This random person who is frustrated with his life just got one book, it changed his life, and he, in a village called Rayagad Sindhi, he practically changed the whole society around him. So much strength even now Swamiji has. Swamiji, if we see from the beginning, we all think that the God is the ultimate, right? His journey started with the search of the God. But it went beyond it. There are some very strange incidents. He used to laugh on Ramakrishna Paramhans praying Kali. Ramakrishna Paramhans is Guru, but still it's not that he trusted him right away. After probably when all the Swamijis get all the knowledge, they would go and spend time in jungle thinking about the God. He went around India meeting different people, rich people, poor people. He met so many Maharajas. I was thinking why he would meet only the royal people, only the Maharajas. The reason he met all the Maharajas was because he thought these are the people who have so much power, they can change India. At that time, he thought that I have to go to West. I have to explain them, and the reason is not only that West should understand what the real Hinduism is, but also he realized when he was in America, there are a lot of things India has to learn from the West. And after coming back, the first thing he does when he touches the Mother India, he takes all the soil and he put it on him. Somebody who is with him, he is very surprised. So his behavior, if you see from the very beginning, he is not a people like you and me. He think little differently. So he said, I am putting soil on myself because if unknowingly I have acquired any impurity when I was in America, I think this will cleanse me. So the thing to notice is how much for him, how much sacred India was. But at the same time, how much open-minded he was. All these are separate incidents. Right? And he died very young. But there was a reason why he was doing all these things. What is that reason? And is that reason relevant to us now? Because he started with the search of God. That is very well understood. In India we see a lot of saints. But then afterward, whatever he did, roamed around, went to the West, then came, and he criticized West for the right reasons, and even he was more critical to India also for the right reasons. He is the greatest example how a person can acquire good from others and how the person should not be afraid to criticize if there is anything bad in anyone. We all came to US for some reason. The reasons are what? We are earning money. Right? Job is a very important thing. Then other than that, if we have time, we are husbands, we are wives, we are mothers, we are fathers. We have to take care of our kids. Taking kids to the classes, seeing what the kid would do in the future. If still there is some time left, we are still thinking our parents are India, what we need to do. On the top of that, we don't know whether we should stay here or we should go back to India. Always, most of us, we have had these discussions many times at our homes. We are doing all these things, we have so many problems, we have so many things in offices, at home, our kids, our parents, and here HSS is celebrating Swami Vivekananda's 150th anniversary. What is the point for me? I am working, I have a job, I have to take care of my family. What is it in me? What is it in for me? Now, trying to understand what Swami Vivekananda ji was trying to do, what he was trying to achieve, how much impact he had in our society, how much impact he had in American society also. And we, fortunately and unfortunately, we are descendants of same rishis. We may deny it, we may think or we may live in ignorance that we don't need to do anything. We are good working in office for 8 hours, taking care of the family and all those things. It's not that those things are less important, those things are equally important, but there is more expected from us. West, other peoples are watching us. We may not realize. There is one philosopher called Arnold Toynbee. Maybe some of us have heard about it. He studied more than 30 cultures around the world. And he came up a conclusion. He said, the only race, and this is not Indian philosopher, the only race which can provide solution to the world is Hindu. I will come to that later. Why he said that. Now if you look at it, so we are working, we have our own things. We have to take care of it. This is our responsibility. Please don't think that I am anyway trying to demean any of those things. Those things are important. But at the same time, if you see in society what is going on, you see recently there has been shootings. The kids are being shot. You see lot of conflicts around the world. My father is very fond of newspapers, and every day he spent 2-3 hours. And if you read newspapers, I think it is natural to get frustrated and think that world is going somewhere down. Then we also live in this world. So unless we do something, we will be only victim. Either we do something or we are victim and we are just waiting. So if you see in all these conflicts happening around the world, and if you see, for example, Anna Hazare, or if you see what Swamiji was trying to say, what Swamiji was trying to tell this world, one thing is very common, that we all are one. In video there was one sentence, we all are one. But saying it is very easy. Realizing it is very tough. In Swamiji's own life, there is one incident. He was walking and he saw one lower class person smoking on the road. And Swamiji, as we all know, Swamiji is not his way of thinking is not conventional. So he went to that person and he said, I want to smoke with you. He's Swamiji. That person felt really weird. He said, no. And Swamiji went. Swamiji later realized that, no. I think he is like me, but I am not behaving like that. He came back, had a smoke with him, and then went. Now the thing is, the reason why Swamiji had a smoke is not because he was fond of smoking, right? The reason he stopped and smoked with him is because he wanted to feel that him and me are one person. The reason why he roamed around the whole India to identify that one thing which we need to save. Only India can save. Only people from India can save. Now what that thing is, that Arnold Toynbee says. He says there are so many diversities around in the world. The only race who is capable to understand and to see that unifying factor which is going through all this diversity is only Hindu. We all have also realized and seen it. I will give you an example. When in Hindus itself, my father is Arya Samaj. My mother prays Santoshi Mata. My brother follows some other meditation things. So within my family, and I am sure that is true with each one of our family, within our family we have so much diverse view of Almighty. But we also understand that they all are trying to achieve the one same thing. This is about within the family. When we talk about the West, today morning I was coming with Santosh ji and he was saying that in America the great thing is their discipline. When we look at the things, we look at some great things, some values. And if you look at any culture, those values are common. Those underlying principles are common. And that characteristic is natural for us. We can easily see it. It doesn't need effort. The same thing, if we try to tell others and we can practice that in office also, it takes so much effort. That is why the burden is on us, whether we accept it or not. So, HSS, why HSS is celebrating it? In HSS also, if you see, the practice is something similar. Today morning I was reading a line by Swami Vivekananda ji. So every person, the influence is limitless, but the center is one. That is one person, right? But the God and the difference between the God and the individual person is, for God, the influence is nowhere and the center is each one of us. And our journey from what we are towards what we think the God is, trying to identify more centers. What are more centers? We already have few centers in our family because we take care of our kids, our parents. So there are few centers. How to grow it further? There are many people who are doing service. All the people who are doing service are, if you look at it, it is nothing but trying to grow their centers. We, HSS, Sangh, has always believed that we are doing Swamiji's work. We think Swamiji's message is so important, especially this year. Our own festivals are secondary, which as an organization we celebrate. Swamiji's message is what our purpose is. So, the same thing, Swamiji message we can try to understand, the video we have seen, but ultimately, unless I do something, there is no point in just talking about Swamiji, right? In Hindus also, we also believe the real way of praying anyone is to be like him in certain way. So, our next session is Sankalpa, where we, Nilesh ji will also explain it further. But if we understand the Sankalp, it is a very personal thing. It is not that I put on my drawing board and so that everyone can pass and see that how great Sankalpa this person has. It is very personal thing. But if you look at in our history, our ancestors, and we look at the examples, what they have done for their own Sankalp. You think about Shivaji, you think about Maharana Pratap, you think about Swami Vivekananda, you think about Anna Hazare. They all have decided to do something. And that something, if you look at it, needs to be done now. Looking at the situation outside in the world, if you sincerely think about it, it cannot be postponed. Not tomorrow, not next month, not next year. And this Sankalp is not also New Year resolution, that my waistline should reduce by 2 inches this year. This Sankalp is something we owe to this world. This Sankalp is something we owe to Swami Vivekananda and to our ancestors. This is the burden and this is what we have to do. So think about it. Whatever you think, sincerely this year, because this is Swami Vivekananda's 150th anniversary, and Swami Vivekananda himself has said, my teachings are good for 1500 years for this world. That's what he said. We can try to read it. Online literature is free. Read him, understand him. And he has him, and we are double fortunate. One is, we are from India. Swamiji was from India. The second thing is, Swamiji tried the reform from the West. Even Philip Goldberg, he says India's spirituality will be realized through West. And if you see, yoga became popular in India before or after it became popular in US. So we are doubly fortunate, we have double burden. So hopefully we will try to think about Swamiji's message, and hopefully we will try to make one circle, and by reading Swamiji we can strengthen it and follow it.